everyone, it's Lisa here. Welcome to another Hero Arts video. Today I'm going to show you two techniques using the new Poly Clear Simply Handmade set from Hero Arts. This is the set, and there are so many patterns that you can make with this set, but we only have time to do two today. This is one of my favorite sets. The first technique I'm going to share with you today is the background pattern for this card. For this technique, we're going to be stamping the image in reverse. So here's the image that we're going to use. It's this bottom one. And to stamp it in reverse, we're just going to mount it on the acrylic block the opposite way that you normally do. So take your block and then mount it so that the back side, it's like the smooth side, is facing up. And a little tip, use double-sided tape to help the stamp stick to the block if it's not sticking. And here are the inks we're going to be using today. These are Distress inks by Tim Holtz. And I'm going to start out by applying old paper distress ink here and there over the image. I want to leave some of this white. Next, I'm going to get tea dye distress ink and just kind of go around the edges and then put a little bit here and there too. Then I'm going to come back in with the lighter color, the old paper, and sort of blend those together. Now all that's left to do is stamp it on some paper. I love this technique with the distress inks because it gives you a kind of a mottled look, and if you wanted an even more mottled look, you could go ahead and mist it before you stamped it. But doesn't that look cool? Next, you just go ahead and mount the image the normal way, the way that you normally would, and then stamp it in black right over top of the reverse stamped image. I like how this makes the perfect size background. You don't have to trim it or anything. And there you have it. To finish up, you would just go ahead and color the dress form with pencils. And one trick is to make a little shadow with a darker brown along the edges to really make it pop. Now for the next technique, I'm going to show you how to make this pattern. I love how the tissue paper lets you see what's underneath. We're going to use white tissue paper and distress inks again to give it a vintage look. Here's how it'll look when we're done. And don't worry if your tissue paper has wrinkles in it or anything. This tissue paper is actually saved from my package. I actually like the wrinkles because I think it makes it look more vintage. I'm going to start out by rubbing old paper distress ink all over the tissue paper. And I'm using this foam applicator tool, but if you don't have one, you could use a sponge or like a makeup sponge. And I like to leave some areas a little darker than others and leave some white showing here and there too. I think it gives it like a really good look. There, that looks good. Now I'm going to take the tea dye distress ink and use the other end of the foam applicator tool and just kind of rub it here and there. I like to put it kind of in the corners and along the edges and then wherever there's wrinkles, and I even like to make more wrinkles just because I think that really makes it look cool. So I just kind of scrunch it up a little bit and then rub it with the tea dye. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to finish up by stamping the pattern right on the tissue paper with black ink. Just kind of position it. If you need to recut the tissue paper later, then that's okay. And sometimes the tissue paper will stick, but that's alright too. You can just peel it right off. Then to finish up, I attach the tissue paper piece to the card with a pin, and then I love how the pattern paper or whatever's underneath shows through. And that's it. Thanks for watching and check the blog for more.